Oh, hello, Katrina.
How are you?
Welcome to. I'm good. Welcome to Unstructured and
Yes.
Unsupervised.
Oh, welcome,
I'm
audience.
Nicole Narayan,
I'm Katrina
and you're
Reese. We're
Katrina
painting our
Reese.
nails
We are painting our nails
because
because you know what?
we want to.
Sometimes things don't need to be that serious.
They don't need to be that serious.
No, they don't. So I'm going to paint my nails. You're going to paint your nails. What color are you doing this evening?
I'm doing a base coat in what is this? 100% pure, and it is not made. It's vegan, and I had to start buying vegan makeup and stuff because I'm allergic to like bunch of things.
Everything.
I am allergic to this lipstick, but it looks too good to not wear it.
Ah, it does look good on you. What happens when you wear it though? What are you allergic to?
uh, a couple days after, whenever I wear things with carmine in it, just move this microphone a
Yeah,
little.
those damn Italians.
I carmine. It's made from this red beetle, and so yeah, like non-vegan red things or brown things have crushed beetles in it. Typically, it's a nice color that they have.
For real?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
it goes by different names. Um, so I have to get vegan makeup because I'm allergic to that. But anyways, depending on how much is in it, I get a my skin has a reaction. Like I get like my ears get like very itchy, or like my
Interesting.
eyes get like very swollen. Um,
Oh.
I'll get like my skin turns red like around my mouth. So
Oh.
yeah, that means covering it up with more makeup. So I try not to wear stuff very frequently that has carmine in it. What was I doing? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Also, like doing
Um,
makeup it's fun, but
is it?
it's tiring. It takes up so much
I
time,
know.
and it's like I can't even see it most of the time. And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
I feel weird
I
about people
don't
looking at
very
me.
much wear it. You feel weird
You
about
don't need
people
to wear
looking
it.
at you? I
Yeah,
don't have the patience for it. I'm doing my nails right now, and I'm like, what am I doing?
well, this smells
I'm
really strong.
trying, but I'm making a mess. I am making a mess.
You don't like frequently paint your nails?
No, I don't know what came over me today. I was like, I think I want to paint my nails. I don't know. They're long, you know why? That's why, because they're long right now. And when I
Oh.
was working at the salon that I used to work at, my nails would always get like brittle and not be long because they would be in water all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like, hey, I have a nail to
Makes sense.
paint. Let's let's paint it.
Paint it.
I know that was the most interesting story you've ever heard in your life. I should probably repeat it four more times,
Can you repeat it?
but
Can you repeat the story? I want to hear it again.
yeah. My nails.
Yeah.
They're
Wait, wait, wait,
longer
wait.
now
Wait, wait.
because
Retell the story, but do it as an elderly lady. Like pretend that this is now 50 years in the future, and
oh God.
we're painting our
No,
nails.
when I was just a young woman, I used to work at the hair salon at the parlor, the
Oh,
beauty
that's
parlor.
right. I don't think
Yeah,
you never did my hair, right?
no, I never did it. I just washed the hair there. There was
Oh,
a
you
lot of
washed it.
hair.
What did you use?
I
What was the
washed the hair.
washer? What was the? It's important.
Shampoo. I use
Oh,
shampoo.
that's good. You know, shampoos for hair.
Shampoo and conditioner. And then, oh, hold on. So back then
Oh,
I couldn't
conditioner. That
couldn't
goes on
paint my nails.
Billy Madison. I remember that show.
Yes. But I couldn't paint my nails back then because they would be brittle like my bones are now. My
Oh, I
nails
got
back
that from
then
my
were
mother
brittle.
too.
Yeah.
Speaking of brittle
But
bones,
now
my neck.
I'm doing this now because I have length on the
Oh,
nails
look
because I
at you
don't
with
work
your
in
long nail
I don't work in
beds.
the thank you.
I've got this going on.
Oh, beauteous,
This
beauteous.
is my nails.
I love that.
Now I decided to go very
Got a nice nail bed there on yourself.
25-year-old Katrina, who would wear one
Oh,
color on one hand and another color on another hand. So
oh
I'm
yeah. I
not
used to do
25
that
anymore,
back in
but
the day. How old are you? 52, 98? I can never keep
I
count.
don't know. There's math involved with that stuff. Time is an illusion.
It is, it is. We're
Should I
all dead
go? Okay, so
anyway.
the colors I got here, I got marshmallow and I
Oh,
got toned down, which we know I need that.
tone down, turn up.
I
Yeah.
still got it.
Ooh,
Okay, so toned down. I think I think toned down is gonna be the left hand because that
all
one is
right.
kind of toned down. It's like, you know what? My right hand is
It's
the one
subtle.
that's not toned down. It probably needs
It's
this, but
it's
it's
the
gonna
more
get there.
dominant of the two.
Yes, it is my
Okay.
dominant hand. So,
I don't know
yeah,
how
you used to
to
you
now.
used to wash the hair.
Yeah, I used to wash hair back in the day. And then they let me go, you know. Well, they didn't. There was a whole thing that happened. I left, they left, we all left,
What year
left,
was
right,
that? What year did you do that?
oh, that was 1965.
1965.
Yeah,
Oh, well, at least it wasn't 2021 because that year was terrible for everyone in the workplace.
I know. I
Just
know. I
terrible.
saw that coming
Uh,
back in the day. I thought when I was at the World's Fair, I said, you know, what's going to happen in 2021? All these people with their microwaves are going to be like
oh,
crazy.
microwaves.
They
So
got
crazy.
microwaves, and the future went crazy. There was phone calls. Who has time for all that?
I
You know,
don't.
why do I need to know what everyone's doing every 5 minutes? Get a
I
life.
don't. I barely know what I'm doing every second.
I barely do. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to paint my nails.
You're painting a
And
nail.
I
You're
thought
doing fine. You're doing a
I'm
good
doing
job.
all right. Doing all right. Yeah. So anywho, and
I
we're
used
gonna
to paint
talk
my
about
nails a
life.
lot when I was a little girl. I found a family video. This is a
Oh,
true
oh, I
story.
saw
I
that.
found
That
a
was
family
nice
video.
too.
Yes, I was so
I
excited. I was 2.5 years
Yeah.
old.
We went to the Bluegrass
I
Festival
went to
or
the
something.
Bluegrass Festival. It was odd seeing it because, it was a different
You were
time
younger than
and
you,
it was,
right?
yeah, well, I mean, I saw two Confederate flags.
Oh,
I know. People would decorate their trucks. They would go to this Bluegrass Festival. And it's strange to look at that. It wasn't me. It wasn't my family. It wasn't my friends. But they were there. Now,
I don't even care if they were. I don't judge anybody for anything that they do. I think all people are crazy.
well, all people
Everyone's
are
crazy.
crazy. But
Everyone's nuts.
so it's something else seeing that now. It's strange when
Well,
things
now,
feel
yeah,
different like that.
nowadays, but it
People
makes you
have
wonder.
different. It makes you wonder.
It makes you wonder what anything even really means, you know? Like we're
Yeah.
all here. What are you standing for?
What do you stand for?
Sit
What do you
down.
think that the things that you stand for are standing for? You know, if you
That's
think
what I'm
that
saying.
something stands for one thing but it doesn't,
Right.
then
You
what's
know,
it?
then what do you do?
This is why we need
Then what do you do?
much communication in the world.
So much of it.
Do you
So
remember
much
that
of it.
day? It feels like forever ago when Facebook changed its name. They
Change
changed
it.
it. They
Didn't
changed its
they?
name. Yes, to Meta.
What did when did they do that?
They did it on October 28th, 2021. It
Today?
was 50 years ago today. Can you believe it?
Oh my God.
I know. They called
Wait
it
a minute.
Meta. Remember
Why?
that place? Do you remember? It was awful.
What do you mean? They really changed the name of Facebook?
Oh yeah, you
Are
don't
you
remember? Well,
making
you know
are you
what? I
making
don't think. I think it was that people just continued to call it Facebook. Because why would you? Why would you
Why
call
you
it?
gotta change everything? Why is everything changing all
Because
the
it's not
time?
really about the face anymore. It's about the statistical data. We are
Right, of course.
we are in a
Nobody cares
simulation.
about actual human connection anymore. Everybody
Exactly.
just wants
Or
to,
books. Who cares about books? Get the book out of
no,
here.
who cares?
What's a book?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about anything anymore.
You could grow up now.
Nobody cares about anything and everybody cares about everything. It's so funny. It's like, what's happening? You know what I care about?
What do you
Not
care
smudging
about?
my nails tonight. I don't
Oh,
want to
look at
smudge my
that. It'll
nails.
look very interesting when you fold over.
Yeah, I did it. I did
I
it.
so
I
far
did it good.
I
Oh,
got
that's
tone down
great.
done. Rah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Uh,
Beautiful.
what
I
was I
did
talking
something.
about?
I don't know why I did it.
Oh,
You
I
were
was saying
talking about Meadow.
children could grow up nowadays having never read a book. Do you remember reading books?
Yeah, I read books. I read what's that one with the people die and they were the one Mockingbird, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah.
That was a
And
book.
that other
That was a
12
book.
Angry Jurors. You remember 12 Angry Jurors?
That was a book. I remember the
That was a
movie.
book. It
Excellent
was a
book.
good
Was it a play?
It might have been a play at one time, yeah. But it was very
I
good.
remember it
This
was
episode
good.
of Unstructured and Unsupervised, as you can see, is it's very playful and just very silly because some days you just need to be silly and not. Last week we had a very heavy conversation on here.
Oh, we
Oh
did,
my
but
God,
I don't think that I put it up yet. I'm so sorry. I've been
you did not upload it. It's fine.
having a
We're
day.
boomers or something.
Been having a day. But yeah, I mean, we don't know how much. I don't know how long, how much time am I gonna have to be like this?
I mean, as much time as God gives you, as much time as God gives you, they say. So, you might as well live every day like it's your last. If you're having a rough day today, think about it. You got air in your lungs, you
I
got
got air in my
mobility in
lungs.
your, you got air in your lungs. I hope you got air in your, did you get air in your tires? The weather's getting cold now.
Oh, I
The
don't have a
temperature,
car.
okay, so then you're good.
Yeah, I don't got to worry about that. So that's one less thing.
No,
I need
yeah,
less
the kids
things
took,
to.
they took your keys away, the kids.
They took my keys.
They take my dignity.
They took it all. But they got me all this nail polish, so.
Beautiful, I know. My granddaughter sends me these nail polishes every day. She goes, Grandma, I got you these nice colors. I said, well, why don't you paint my friggin' nails for me?
Pay my friggin'
Why do
nails.
I
You're my
paint my friggin'
granddaughter.
nails? You're my granddaughter. You want to spend time together. This takes time. My arthritis.
You came out of. You came out of my
Right?
daughter.
You came out of my daughter.
So, respect me.
You should paint my nails.
They look lovely. They look
Thank you.
lovely.
I'm going to take a picture of them. Anywho, for
Anywho.
Halloween? For Halloween, we're doing a little show together, you and I.
Oh,
Not as old
yes.
lady. Well, you might be an old lady at one point in it,
Oh,
but I
I
won't be.
am definitely going to be there. I'm going to be
Yeah,
there along with the other ones. You know them.
those
The
ones, they're a little
troublemakers.
sketchy.
Those
They
ones.
are. They're crooks sometimes.
Crooks. They don't know what they're doing.
They're crooks.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know either.
Eh,
Um, Anywho, we're gonna be on a show though, for real, on
yes.
this weekend, Saturday at 7 o'clock is the showtime, right? And it's gonna be at Parsnips
It's going to
Lake
be at the
House.
lake house in Ronkonkoma.
It'll be at Ron Conkema.
Yes. What are you dressing up as?
I'm going to be Dracula.
Oh, that's lovely. Are you planning to suck the
Yes,
life out of the people?
I am going to do my best.
Good.
I'm going to get up. Oh, Fangul. Now what do you call an an Italian ghost who wants to have a good time? A Fangul. Ah, ha, 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 ha. I smudged my nail, damn it.
Well, that's all right because you can always fix it. Or, there's
I,
beauty in mistakes.
that's
I
true.
used to know someone who ended up hating me, but that's another story for another day. And she would paint her nails all one color, but she'd do one pinky nail black. And she always said it's because nothing's perfect. And I thought that was very, very wonderful and lovely thing to think about, and I liked it. It was very poetic. And then she got mad at me because I asked her why she drank out of a water bottle that I had when I wasn't looking, and we were in high school. It had a lip gloss on it, and she said, I didn't do it. And then
It's a fucking lawyer.
it's a fucking lie, unless somebody borrowed her lip gloss and then drank the water and then left, all within a span of a minute. And I just, I don't know. I don't
He
understand.
said, you did it. I know you did it.
I don't like when
Don't
people
lie to
lie to
me.
me. It doesn't feel good.
Don't lie.
Lying to people doesn't feel. Getting lied to does not feel good.
Lying in general isn't great. I used to lie back in the day when I was a young kid. Oh, fuck, I smudged a nail again. Damn
Why
it.
did you lie?
Um, because I was insecure. I wasn't like
Oh, that'll
firm
do a
and
lot
like
of
I just,
things.
yeah, I wasn't like mature enough to like stand in my decisions, and I was always afraid I was gonna like piss people off and stuff. So I was
Oh,
scared.
so you say what you think people want to hear to
Yeah. And
protect
then I would
yourself.
lie
I
about
understand.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's so sad. That's so sad that you learn
But
that
it
is how
But
you
you
should
know
do
what? It
things.
made me a better person now. I didn't always do that. I used to just tell people what they wanted to hear all the time because I didn't want to
You didn't want
get
to hurt people and you didn't want to get hurt.
correct. And end up happening, I hurt people and I got
And you
hurt
end up hurt.
because
Yep,
that's right.
I
I ended up
understand.
hurting people and I ended up hurting myself.
I'm so
So did
sorry.
I learn my lesson? Yes. Did I
That's a
paint my
hard lesson
nails
to
about
learn.
it? Yes.
Very hard
It is a
lesson.
hard lesson to learn. It's
You
a
should be
very
very
hard
proud
lesson
of
to learn. And you know
yourself.
what? Well, thank you. I am now.
Some people never learn how to
Now
do
I say,
that.
no,
I
they
know a
don't.
lot of people
They don't know how to do that.
who don't know how to be just honest with who they are, with what other people are, with what other people, anything. They'll lie about
Are
anything.
doing. And you know what? Who's got the energy for that these days? Certainly not me. I like my boring life. You know what I do? I drink tea, I drink coffee, I hang out with my boyfriends, I pet my cat, I make a pumpkin.
Oh,
I'm
you made
very
a pumpkin.
boring these days. I made a pumpkin. I go to work, I do the jobs I love. It's like a nice, simple life.
You are content.
I'm content. And you know what? Being content for me is a long time coming because I'm not always very content.
I am jealous because I don't have content yet. I've been living for however many years, and I thought I knew what would make me content. And I thought I had it a couple of times, and it wasn't what made me happy. And So I think I know what makes me happy. And now it's just, you
What do
know,
you think makes you happy? Tell me. I need to know.
what makes me happy is what makes me happy is being surrounded by people who uh like want to make things better and care and don't want to they don't want to just disregard what I have to say or how I feel about things, you know. Uh, when you grow up or when you're living somewhere uh, where someone just doesn't really actually live in a way that shows that they love you unconditionally, it's hard to think that you are deserving of unconditional love. And so you don't treat yourself with unconditional love. And so you don't have contentment in your life. So now that I've been working on myself, I've been trying to try new things, try different, just be honest with myself about what my needs are as a person. And it's
So
very, very
my
difficult. And I want to play, I want to eat good food, and I don't want to go into an office cubicle uh,
I don't blame you for that.
and I want to sleep better.
I want to sleep better.
I want to sleep better, and I don't want to be in pain. I am in a bit of pain physically, my neck.
All
You
right,
know
we could
about
do
that.
a little stretch action,
Yeah.
a little go nice and easy, easy.
I don't. I'm very impatient.
I was talking to the girl that is my dear cousin. She's my cousin. She lives up in the up in Maine.
Oh, Maine.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Lobster's good
But
there.
the lobster's delicious there. But we had a really nice discussion about how, like, when you're on this whole mission about growth and and self-healing and self-improvement, which you and I both are very aware of. We do the work, we show up for ourselves, we do the things. But we had a very interesting turn of events in this conversation that was very eye-opening, in the sense of we get we get on the hamster wheel of self-improvement, so much so that we forget to actually enjoy the improvements that we've already made, because we're on to the next improvement, on to the next improvement.
Oh,
And
I understand.
sometimes going through all of this self-help, which is great, it's also contradictory to yourself as well, because sometimes you just have to have fun. You just have to go right along and trust in the universe and trust in what's going on in the present moment, because we get so caught up in, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And it's like you don't have to do anything
Responsibilities.
except put your hands up and say, please, universe, please, God, please, higher power, please, spaghetti monster, whoever you believe in, please clear the way for me. Please guide me into
Get
the
it out
things
of
that
the
are
way.
the best for myself and others. Guide me in this direction. And when you listen to your intuition, you listen to spirit, you listen to whatever feels true to you, you get the answers that you seek without having to do all of this very hard, strenuous work. But people are afraid to go inside, or they're afraid to ask for guidance, to help, because they're so sure that they know everything already, what's best for themselves, which maybe they do. But it's a weird world, you know. It's very strange, all the people and the opinions and the perspectives and the things. We're all here individually and collectively trying to be a person. And
Yeah.
wherever anybody is, I love you exactly the way you are.
I love you too, my fellow thought experiment.
Yes.
I'm coming out. I
I
was like,
want the world
I
to
just
know.
realized,
I
like, oh,
know.
my jaw
My teeth were clanking while I was talking like an old lady, and it was bugging me out.
clanking. Clang, clang,
Yeah,
clang goes a trolley. It's
yeah,
kind of fun talking about stuff, though, in character or as another personality. I think it brings a different kind of feeling to stuff.
it does.
Yeah.
It totally does. Like if I did Dracula, who's my favorite to do,
Oh, I
and we
love to
talked
do this
about
kind of like very thick
yes,
accent.
like
This
like very this like more like Bulgarian accent.
it's
This one's
Eastern
like
European,
Russian,
like
Bulgarian, Eastern European. I don't
Ukrainian.
know.
I don't know.
I hope we don't get in trouble for the words that we're doing, but it's
I
very
don't know.
hard
I know.
to have fun.
I definitely understand what you mean though, because doing accents is becoming like increasingly like, oh, you
Racist?
can't do, yeah, like you can't do it. You're not that accent. It's like, but it's an accent. It's not. I'm not making
And it's
fun of
fun.
people. I like how it sounds.
Me too.
Sometimes people, regardless of your accent, sound funny because of the way that they talk. And
Right.
I know that
And you probably
I talk strangely.
we all talk weird. We're all characters. That's what people need to understand, that we are all characters with our own
Yeah.
quirky, weird, normal, boring, silly, extreme, extravagant, all the
It's like, it's just
things.
like, it's fine. I'm not making fun of an accent.
Not making fun of anything. It's just we're being
Yeah.
people enjoying and appreciating this person. And maybe it's a form of showing tribute to that person or that language or that sound because it does sound so cool. Why do you have to go and make it racist, person?
I mean, I think that
You
people who
know?
do use accents as a way to be racist make it problematic. But you could use any words. You could use anything.
You can make anything you want it to be if you
Yeah.
have a certain amount of love or hate for it. Depending on your perspective,
Whoa,
you
it's
can make
so true.
anything. And that's where people need to understand, like, cut the shit
You need to
already.
understand.
Let's just cut the shit.
Cut the
Have a good time. Just cut the shit.
Have a good
Have
time
fun.
without hurting other people.
Yeah.
That why can't we do that? Why
But
can't
then
we do that?
I don't know. I don't know. But that, and again, but goes back, but see, like, I have to challenge that statement of like, have fun without hurting other people. Not that I'm intentionally going out to hurt somebody in any way, means, or shape, or form. But sometimes I might say something that I think is
Right.
funny. I'm not trying to hurt somebody, but the person across the way heard it, and it was like, well, my so and so is one of those, and it's like, I'm sorry that you're listening, first of all, to my conversation that I'm not talking to you about, and two, it's like I'm talking about something in my life, and now this is
That's
triggering you
true.
and had nothing to even do with you, and people make it about them.
Well, I guess it's kind of like, okay. This is how I think about it. If you
Okay.
when I say that, it's like have fun without hurting people. I mean, like with the intention of like, don't be a hurtful person. And if you
Like,
realize
don't
that
go
you're
out
being,
of your way.
yeah, don't try to hurt people, and but also don't hurt yourself. Like don't put yourself aside for other people because it's like you're not nobody's worth more or less than anyone else. From my point of view, everyone is the same. And so if somebody else is hurt by something that somebody says with without intention of hurting them, it's like, okay, why? Because maybe your reason for reacting in a hurt way to something is attributable to something else. And it's just being reflected onto whatever this is. Um, I feel like that happens a lot with comedy and with when people talk about their own life experiences and other people are like, ah, what the, And it's sad that people aren't willing to communicate enough to and like really listen. Like I feel that when people, if it's like there's one person and then there's another person. This person says something, this person gets offended, and then this person's uh, angry with this person for being offended because they feel like you don't have the right to be mad about me. And then this person is like, you don't have the right to be mad that I'm mad. It's like, okay, wait. Why is this happening? Like everybody
Right.
just can we
That's a perfect way you just described that. It's like people getting mad. The comedian says blah blah blah. This one gets mad because they're offended. Now this one's offended because this one's offended, and it's like you can't be offended about the thing that is about
mm-hmm,
me, right? That's what you just said.
mm-hmm. This
Um,
is funny. No, it's not. You're not funny.
actually, to you, it's not
You're
funny.
yeah, it's not funny to you.
Well, it's not funny to you. Okay, well, I had this experience and it made me feel blah blah. Like I don't care. I don't care. Go home and deal with why you're triggered. Like go home and figure out why you're upset with what happened here and go deal with that in a space that's not my artwork and my comedy. And it's like I that's my opinion. I feel like I'm a comedian. I'm here to do the things that find funny. This is me expressing myself. This is me in a way that shows it. I didn't ask you if you're offended. I wasn't like,
I
hey,
think that
stupid audience members.
stand-up comedy, and I forget who said this. Uh, it's like stand-up. Okay, so stand-up comedy, it's like it's comedy. It's you should listen to it. You should listen to it. This person is saying something shitty in a way that makes it less shitty. So think about it more. But that's the thing too, though, is that a lot of people don't really want to think about stuff, so like satire or, something that it seems like you're mocking something and that it, and on like a simple level, it's like, why would you do that? Why would you make fun of this? Exactly. It's like, okay, so now you need to like change your perception of it. Just like lift the lid, see what's happening inside, listen to the joke, don't take it out of context, listen to everything that the person's saying. But when people have an emotional reaction to something, they usually stop listening.
Right.
So,
That's so true. People, as soon as, and I'm guilty of it myself. Like when I've had an emotional trigger to something, like I'll stop listening right away because I'm like, now I have to process how I'm feeling about this.
yeah.
But I can
It's like, let me
also go
review.
back to the joke later and be like, oh, that was actually funny once I've wrapped my head around. Like, I think that's different though. There's certain jokes that
I think it's
definitely
different.
trigger me.
I do think, and I think it's different too when it's like somebody says something and they think it's funny. Other people are like, that's not funny and this is why. And then the person, after thinking about it, is like, okay, I thought it was funny. And maybe I thought it was funny because I needed to talk about something that I have pain about. And that's a thing too that a lot of people I think miss is just because somebody makes a joke about something doesn't mean that they aren't personally affected by the very thing that they're joking about. You know?
Correct. They
Like,
don't stop to think about that at all. Like it's like this is. Let me just tell you, it's like the thing that's happening on in my life is so awful that I can't fathom it in the reality that it actually is.
yeah, so
So
let me
I'm gonna
present it to
joke
you
about
in
it
this weird way.
in this weird, awful, silly, whatever kind of way that it is, and you might not get it, but it's so bad that I have to joke about it. Like,
Yeah, it's that,
this
it's the
art,
only way. It's the only way to
yeah,
process it.
totally. And it's like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I
There's
think
nothing
it's
wrong with
actually
it.
very healthy to be able to find something that like is bothering you and being able to find the humor in it and be able like if you can't
so that you
laugh
can
about it,
process it. Yeah.
yeah,
That's why
and you
I
can
mean the
continue
best
to live with some laughter in your life. Like,
yeah.
if you didn't laugh about some of this shit, most people would have probably killed themselves by now.
Mhm.
Like there's so many people out there that use humor as a defense mechanism to get through
Yeah. I
the
do.
awfulness of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. And just to it also when you make a joke about something, it really takes away the power that whatever that is, if say you're a comic, right, and you make a joke about something that is extremely traumatic, um, and other people are like, why would you fucking joke about that? And I mean, like, as somebody that talks about things like that, it's like I need to make a joke because it makes me feel, it helps me feel like I have control about it. That I'm not like letting myself continue to be, I guess, victimized by a situation or person or an event. And if other people don't get that, I feel bad for people who don't understand that because it means that they have stopped listening or they just haven't learned how to let go of whatever it is that is affecting them to hear somebody else talk about whatever pain that they're going through. Even if it doesn't seem like it's painful because it's laughed about. Stand up comedy is very hard.
it's super hard.
Yeah. And I really
It is
think that
not an easy thing to do.
the best comedians talk about the their actual like
Truth.
difficulties. Those are the best specials I've seen. Those are the
When you're
comics that I
being
respect.
vulnerable,
You're being vulnerable, but it doesn't even seem like you're being vulnerable because, again, it's like you're taking this power, but talking about stuff that hurts, it takes something else. It takes a lot to get to that point. You have to get
yeah,
you have to get really pushed really hard to just be like, all right, here you go.
laying it all out there.
And like it, and I mean, like starting to talk about stuff that's hard, which is what I've been doing this year. It is really fascinating because it's like okay, I need to work on it. Like it's like here like the start of it so rough. It's like this is not funny. And then you start to find where the like cracks of light are, and you just like kind of dig into it some more and make it like, see, it's not a really a. It's okay. So here's the danger though. I don't want to make something that I've experienced, like that was a bad experience, into something that seems like, oh, well, it's not a big deal, right? And okay, how do you respect that something is significant enough to impact you as a person and to change the way that you make decisions about your life, without minimizing, like you don't want to minimize that importance, but you want to also, like, I guess it's just transforming it really.
That's the best word. I was just going to say it's moving it and transforming it into something else.
I'm trying to think of like
Because,
an analogy. I'm listening, but I'm also
like,
thinking.
it, if you're taking, for instance, a situation that happened that was traumatic, and you're like, well, I want to be able to joke about this, but I don't want it to come off like it's not a big deal because it was a big deal. I think there's also a fine line too that comes between the type, um, how long something, and this is very different for every person, for every different situation, and it's a very personal thing. Um, how long does that trauma, you know, continue to have ownership over you
Ooh, so when you say
versus,
ownership, what do
yeah.
you. I just got something in my hair. When you say ownership,
So we all have experienced our level of trauma, whether it's somebody jumping out and scaring you and you got scared and now you're scared when people spook you and it's like, ah, or down
yeah,
to very, very traumatic things like murder or seeing someone die or things
or
that you have
abuse.
also gone through, abuse, anything. From one extreme to the other and everything in between, trauma can be looked at any way you look at it. So when I say when trauma has ownership over you, people become very committed to their trauma and
Yes, they do.
choose, they become very committed to the trauma that they experienced, and the trauma that they experienced becomes this very victimized, which I'm not taking away that there was you were a victim at one point. At one point in your life, some sort of trauma happened and you were a victim to that trauma. But moving forward, as somebody who is aware now of what had happened, you're doing things now in your power to not experience that again.
Yeah, that's the
But,
thing. It's like it's about power.
right, and the trauma itself, when you keep feeding it the power, it's going to continue to either live within you or you're going to still keep attracting it because you're still allowing it to live. So I'm not
Interesting.
saying
So,
forget the trauma. I'm not saying don't ever pretend it exists, but don't let it become so much a part of your identity that you're afraid to say, okay, that was one portion of myself. Like that happened there and then I've learned these things about it. How do I transform this energy into something more productive, more supportive, and more full of light to move forward into the next thing? Because I know for myself, it's like there are certain traumas that happened in my life that I let own me for so long that I was like, no, I can't do that because I experienced this and it's going to make me feel shameful or these things are going to happen. And it's like all these thoughts that are, the thoughts are not true. Like they're not,
well, that's like,
they're not
but I think what you said afraid, like it's like there's power and fear involved. Like
correct.
I think that's the way to kind of like define what it means to be affected by something that is traumatic in that like okay, traumatic cuz
Well, take this. I'm going to, okay, I'm sorry to cut you off, but
oh
I
no,
got,
listen.
but take it on a grand scheme, right? Take it on a mass person, right? We're talking about a very individual experience of our own personal trauma. But take fear, right? And a traumatic experience, something like COVID. Everybody experienced COVID together. We're all in it together. That's been the slogan the whole time. We're all in this together. This traumatic thing happens where a deadly virus goes haywire. The world gets shut down. Everybody's in quarantine. That's traumatic for a lot of people. That's trauma
Yeah,
for tons
it's
of people.
everybody is traumatized. Everybody is traumatized.
Everyone's traumatized from that. So, like,
Yeah.
here's a situation. Let's traumatize you guys with this mass thing. And then there's fear. Let's keep feeding the fear of the trauma that happened. More fear, more fear. If you don't get vaccinated, you get this. If you don't go and take care of that, something bad is going to happen. All these people are dying. It's like there's more and more
Mm-hmm.
fear and fear and fear being distributed. And if you take that and minimize, that was a grand picture of it. But if you take it off the table and come back to our home things, like the trauma that we endure, we talk this fear to ourselves. And as you said, fear is a motivator. Fear will either push you to do
It'll eat you
like
up.
it'll eat you up and it'll
Yeah.
make you feel like I am
Like a
the
big shark.
pressure is on. Fear gives you, yes, fear puts pressure on you. And then when the fear happens and there's pressure, it's like I gotta make a decision, I gotta make it now, I gotta just do this. And it's like, whoa, 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 take a second, process the fear. Where is it coming from? Why do I feel this way? is that my truth now, or was that where I felt then? Where am I going now? And break it down. But I haven't experienced a hundred, not a hundred, a lot of people willing to take a breath and just say, I'm no longer that. I don't, that's not me anymore. It was a part of me. I thank it for what it was, but let's move away from that now, you know?
I mean, yeah, people need to have a reason though to move away from stuff. They need a good reason to.
Why is the reason that's, I'm just curious. I'm not trying to be argumentative.
Oh
I'm
no,
just
I mean, I think that's
asking a
what.
different perspective. Is like, you need, okay, so someone like you need a reason to want to.
Yeah, it's like, what is your motivation? It really just boils down to what is your motivation for anything that you do. Are you doing
So
something out of some kind of deep seated fear, whether it's an action or non action? Or are you doing something because you recognize, okay, I have this fear, and so when I want to do something to change it for
that's my
to lessen it.
mentality. Like me, I if I have a fear of something, the last thing I want to do is run away from it. I'm like, let's just get it over with. Like, let's just take. Like, I want to cut this fear out now. I don't want to live with this. I don't want to have it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want it fucking lingering there. I don't want to. I don't. No, go away. What do I got to do to face this? And then
Yeah.
I just lean into the fear. I lean all the way fucking
Oh,
into
interesting.
it, and and go from there. Like, something else presents itself in another way, and then I got to deal with that. So, for instance, I went into, I'm afraid, totally afraid of sharks. Don't
Oh
like
yeah.
sharks.
Sorry.
Never wanted. Did the shark dive at the aquarium? Got in the tank with the sharks. The sharks became no longer the issue. The issue was a much, much, much more deep rooted issue. Was, I was like, oh, the sharks are scary. I don't like them. Blah blah blah. Let me face this fear of my sharks. I got in the water. I went underwater. The sharks were there. I wasn't even afraid of the sharks anymore. What I was afraid of was being trapped in a cage underwater with two people I didn't know, and it was the feeling of not being able to
Escape.
escape or save myself. Like, I had no control over
Interesting.
anything that was going on, and I was in a steel cage underwater with people that I don't know. So I don't trust these people. I don't know them. So that was a much more deeply rooted issue for me to have to come out of and be like, okay, this real fear is something now that I have to now lean into this and see where this comes from.
Yeah, I mean, like
So
that definitely is that's fascinating because it's kind of like, all right, do you have a fear of not being able to escape?
I don't like the fear. Yeah, I don't like the idea of being having to be trapped into something. Like, I need to be able to be like freely.
You need to be able to choose to be wherever you are.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense because you're someone who grew up where it was probably like there were times you were like, I wish that I could leave. Yeah.
Yes, I use my imagination to escape a lot. I use my imagination. I still do that sometimes. I use my imagination to escape. You know, people have their own ways of disassociating, and mine's imagination. It's like you could lock me up in a room somewhere and I would still be able to escape because of my imagination. But in the water, I don't know what it is, but I don't like being underwater. I don't like not being able to breathe. I don't like I don't like it.
Okay,
And
so it's
I
like a
don't
different
like,
kind of escape.
yeah, like that escape. Like, I feel like I could escape anything that I'm doing just by my imagination. This was like, I can't get out of this.
Well, I mean, like that.
Like
I do agree, though. Like people who have very vivid imaginations. I mean, I have no like psychological study to back this up at all, which would be it would be interesting though to see if there's any kind of link between your imagination and like I guess, just trauma, because it's like, okay, the real world sucks. I have to I have to figure out a way to deal with this. There's nothing out here. I just have to go in there and just make my own little world. And
Correct.
yeah, it's like definitely kind of a I guess maybe being creative. It's like almost a defense mechanism of like, I need to make something that other people are going to understand.
Well, one of the things that I had said to my boyfriend is like, I want a life that I'm in now that I don't want to feel like I want to escape from. And that's something on me that I have to continue to create because my imagination could be whatever it is in my head, but unless I bring those ideas out of my mouth and into fruition, then they're just an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Once I take that and say, okay, this is what I'm going to actually create and cultivate in my life, then my life becomes the imagination. It becomes the creation. It becomes the thing that I want. And then I'm no longer living in a fantasy. It is now my reality because I've
It's your
created
world.
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's why there's so many people who love, virtual reality and like video games and anything like that. The internet, you can make whatever world you
right.
want because
But
you need it
that's
to be happy.
correct. But for me though, I guess this is a personal thing for myself. Is like I'm not satisfied with just doing that virtually. Like that's
You want it to be actualized
I want that to be my life. Like if I'm here,
physically.
why am I if I'm physically here and I have the capabilities and the imagination and the mindset and the motivation to create a life that I want to have in real life, why would I want to for me? This is not for other people. If it works for other people, like by all means like have the
Yeah.
virtual world,
It's
create the
like
world.
do
Like
what
if
you
that's the
need.
way
Yeah.
do what you got to do to make it happen and bring yourself to a place of happiness. For me, I don't want to feel
End
like I
product.
have to
Yeah.
go somewhere else to escape it. I want it to actually be it, you know?
I mean, that's harder.
And it's a lot
It's
harder, but
harder to do
like
that.
that's what part of the fun for me is like
Yeah.
if that's it's like it is harder,
Yeah.
but that's part of being alive, I feel like for me. It's like if I'm not doing stuff to create that space here, I'm going to be depressed here. So the only time that I'm ever going to be happy is if I go to a virtual place to feel fulfilled by something that's still not technically really real.
I mean,
It's
physically.
real enough. It's real. It's real time that you're
I mean,
spending and investing.
there's real emotion involved.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't play them, so I really don't know. For me, I personally want to have those real emotions here.
Yeah, I would. I same, but also I do understand when people use various things, whatever it is, books, to escape into worlds, because they're like, I need to escape into another world. I need to learn something that I'm not gonna be able. I'm not. I need to be able to do stuff that I can't do in my real life, and so I definitely, I definitely get that, but I I can't live that way because I will, because there is a real world and I am distracted enough. So it's like I need to. Oh wait, what was I gonna say? Oh, you said before that you dive into it, like you lean into it. I'm someone that it depends. I definitely, and I've noticed this happen when I'm in therapy too. Sometimes I'll get I'll be talking about something and then very suddenly change subjects into it's like my ADHD is a defense mechanism for me, because it's like, oh, I never realized I never really had any friends until I was a sophomore in high school. Oh yeah, I never really realized that. Um, that's good. You know, because if I if I hadn't been able to if I hadn't done that, oh my god, would I have been even more unhappy? You know, I was unhappy
That's
enough.
so interesting to say that you have ADHD as a way to be another form of a defense mechanism. That's very interesting.
I mean, like if you think about it, evolutionarily speaking, too, there is a benefit to having ADHD. It's like okay, you need someone to be awake at night to make sure that other like animals aren't gonna like want to like fuck with all your shit. Like oh, what's that? Oh, it's like that weird hypertension and like sensitivity and it's not. I think that the name for it is problematic. Um, it's like is there a deficit or is this just like an overabundance of attention that is being assigned in the wrong amounts to different things?
So ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive
Hyperactivity
disorder.
disorder. It used to be that there was ADHD, that, or ADD. So it's like without the hyperactivity, but it's just now it's just the same name, but they say that there's a certain type. Um, I don't think that it's a good name, but it's just they need something.
It's like attention distributed something. Like your
Attention
attention gets,
distribution. I like that.
I
Attention.
don't even want to call it I mean, it is a disorder because
Attention
there is things
distribution
like,
disorder sounds really good.
yeah,
Call it that.
yeah, because that's what's happening. You're distributing your energy, your attention and your energy to a million different things that causes disorder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that that's where
I would say I would say, hey DSM-5 or is it going to be 6? Hey DSM-6, call it attention distribution disorder and then have sublevels of hyperactive, hyperfocus, combination, um, or distracted.
yep. See, and it's so weird because there's moments where like it depends who I'm around where mine act up.
Really?
It's yeah, it's like some some people I could again, I guess that's when I'm really interested in the conversation. If I'm super interested in the conversation, I'm very much engaged. I could tell you exactly what you left off on. I'm like, no, let's come back to that thought, and I'll be super into it. Other times somebody will be saying something and I'll be like listening to the radio and them and like my attention goes everywhere. I don't know, it changes. It depends on my surroundings and who I'm with.
Yeah.
I can't say that's the same every day. And then there's days where I'm spot on, where like I'm super organized. I have everything in alignment. Everything is going perfectly. Like, and there's no, my attention is exactly where it's supposed to be. And then other days it'll be like, well, out the window.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
I wonder if they'll figure out someday how to just quickly. Oh, we have about a minute left.
Okay.
Well,
I
anyways.
also think about the things too. It's like ADD, ADHD, all mental illness. Like I personally, I I'm not going to say that they don't exist. They all do exist. But to take the idea of that we're just sensitive human beings who experience life and feelings and all the interests of things, and we're not so like linear about everything, that like, why does it have to be some sort of disorder or why does it have to
Yeah.
be
Why is it? It's
like,
just like neuro. It's just like a neurodiversity. I guess there's like a
like
bunch of different ways that people.
this is where it's like I feel like everything gets so segregated because it's like, well, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. Everybody got they're so attached to these labels and so attached to a disorder or a mental illness and these things become people's identities before their actual character, before their actual values, before their actual
Yeah, before you know
fundamental
who you are.
makeup. Like so much of it becomes this ailment or this thing, and that's now who you are. And it's
Well, I mean,
like,
because a lot of people don't do the work to figure out who they are.
yeah, I
They're
know.
just like, all
But
right,
it's
well, this is
like
what I do.
there's so much more to people than just their mental illness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't define you. That's not just who you are. That's not,
Right.
I don't know.
No, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
But also, wouldn't it be nice to, like, be someone that's just simpler?
Well, you know what the case is, you know what's funny is like we can choose to do that. And I
Oh,
think that's
can
another thing
we?
that
I
I
don't
think
know.
that people I think that people can choose if they actively want to choose to make something more simple and say, I don't have to do this right now. I do not have to take on all of these thoughts.
Oh, I
I
see.
could put them all down. I could step away from this and
No,
I
no,
could
no.
go
I
breathe.
I know what you mean by that. What I mean when I say would it be easier if it was like we're simpler people is if you didn't even have to have that thought process of I'm going to simplify this. It's just like la 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 la
Oh,
la la.
oh yeah. I wish that was the case.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, that
I
doesn't work.
am then making a judgment on other people who seem to be like that to me. So I need to think about that. But I guess it'd be nice to be a robot. I mean
No.
that in a half joking way.
Oh my God. I'm like, no, being a robot, that's what they're creating. That's what we're turning ourselves into every day that we go. Are you go to McDonald's? Are you using the mobile app? Like, what? No, I'm not.
It's
No, I'm
boring
not
to
using
you.
the mobile.
It's kind of boring.
What?
It's kind of boring to be a robot. But what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean is
really
like
boring to be a robot.
maybe it's nice to be boring.
Yes, being boring is nice. I'm sure, yes, but like not having any enthusiasm or having any excitement or not is
Yeah.
everything is okay, everything is fine, I am here, I exist, I'm going to go brush my teeth now, I'm going to go to the store now. Like, shut up. Just shut the fuck up.
But that's so funny though because
I
it's
don't
like it makes you angry that there would
It
be.
makes me angry.
But isn't that what you try to like achieve? Is that kind of like zen? I mean, I want
You
that's
can
what
be
I want to
zen.
be able to be like I'm going to the store now. Not that it's like bad. It's just like I'm going to go do the things.
Okay. I just feel
I
like
don't know.
what is life if you're not having like if everybody's talking the same way, if we're all
It's
like,
boring.
I'm gonna go to the store now. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
to the store. Hello. Hello. Okay. Okay. What what? I don't know. I don't get it. For me it's like
Have an
you're just
emotion.
everybody's just doing the same thing then. It's like everybody's just the same person. Everybody's just the same thing walking around. Like, what are we doing here if we're all the same thing? I mean, we are all the same thing walking
We
around,
are all the
yes,
same thing,
anyway. I
but
don't know. Okay.
have an experience. Yeah, experience and emotion.
Right.
Oh, look at you! Hey, hey!
Hi. Yeah,
Oh my
having
gosh! I just laughed,
experience and
and my iTunes just said "playing music?" Question mark.
haha.
No, just my laugh. So we are over time, but thank you for watching episode 11.
Unstructured
Episode
and
11 of
unsupervised.
Oh wait. Oh, maybe it was episode 12. I did it again.
I think it was episode 12.
It was episode 12 because I recorded last week's. Well, we have a backup podcast then. Well, I want to post it. I need to post it. I have to edit it. I have to edit
Well,
it a
we
little.
could always we could use that one for a week when we have to.
Right.
Oh no, we already we right.
I mean, that's exactly. I'm like, well, I don't. I want to like catch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
I'll forgive myself. I guess.
Yeah, you could do that. You're totally allowed to forgive yourself.
Oh,
It's
okay.
okay. A okay.
Okay, bye
All right.
everybody.